Hey friends, welcome to Sassy AF TV Season 2, Episode 16, my kick-ass morning routine. I'm so excited because today I'm totally geeking out on one of my favorite topics, morning routine. I used to be a fan of the snooze button, and I would wait until the very last minute to roll out of bed, even as an early riser. And that would leave me feeling frenetic and out of control. I spent my entire day playing catch-up and never felt like I had time for me. When I developed a morning ritual a few years ago that included reading, meditation, and journaling, I discovered that this space to explore who I am and strengthen myself, mind, body, and spirit was a sacred space. I realized that this was exactly what I needed to begin each day with intention and purpose. Establishing a morning routine that works for you will be a journey, and I hope that my story helps you get started today. Welcome back to another episode of Sassy AF TV and the Sassy AF audio experience. I'm Hallie Avolio, and I'm here again for a solo episode. I had so much fun doing it last time, I wanted to keep it going. So I'm going to talk to you about one of my very favorite topics today. And yes, I am a total geek. We're talking about morning routines. Before you press pause or stop or think, this girl is crazy, that's not such a fun topic. I'm going to tell you why a morning routine is a fun topic. Because when you have a kick-ass morning routine, your entire day just kicks ass. That's pretty much the bottom line. And if I could impart any wisdom on you, any wisdom at all, it would definitely be to implement a morning routine. So I'm going to share with you why I got started having a morning routine, how that came into place, how my morning routine has evolved over time, share some ideas that might work for you, and also let you know right off the bat that my morning routine doesn't necessarily work for you. And that is 100% fine. In fact, I would challenge anyone out there to follow my exact morning routine and tell me that it completely works for them. I would bet that the answer is no, because we're all unique individuals and we all know what works best for us. The bottom line is the morning routine and having a routine established, a routine in place, that is where the magic is. And that's what I want to share with you today, because I want you to create magic in your life. I want you to have fun. I want you to be positive. I want you to be successful. And I want you to understand the tools that you have available to you to create all that success, all that happiness, and all that productivity that you're aiming for. So let's dive in. I got to start with a little story about something called the snooze button. Dun, dun, dun. How many of you are snooze button people? Don't be shy. If you're a snoozer, I want you to reach out to me, send me a message, an email, a DM in some way, shape, or form, because you know how to find me, and let me know if you're a snooze button person. And I'm hoping by the end of this episode, you will stop being a snooze button person. So I was never a snoozer, ever. I'm going to throw my husband under the bus a little bit here. When we first started living together, he was a snoozer, and he would hit snooze and it would drive me insane. And guess what? I fell into the trap of the snooze button. That button is very alluring. That button calls to you like any item that just is seeking attention. And it says, hit me, hit me, hit me, baby, one more time. Okay, I really should stop doing my Britney Spears impression. But the snooze button, it's so alluring because you're like, I'm going to get 10 more minutes of sleep and it's going to be amazing. It's not amazing. The snooze button, it does not do you any favors. Trust me. So the number one rule about morning time is ditch the snooze button. When I used to hit the snooze button, I would start my day so frenetic. I would set my alarm almost an hour before I intended to get up so that I could snooze 6 times before I had to actually remove my body from the bed. And then when I did that, I was in such a frenetic pace to get going, to get ready, to get on with my day that I just couldn't get it together. And the rest of the day, I always felt like I was behind the 8 ball. But that's not really how my morning routine came into place. It wasn't because I had this all of a sudden frenetic feeling and worrying about the snooze button. If I'm going to be really honest, I probably would still hit the snooze button, except now I love my morning routine so much that I don't want to give it up. I've always been a morning person. That's never really been an issue. I used to get up early to go to the gym. I would be one of those people at 5:45 a.m. spin class, but I would wait everything until the last minute. So I would have the coffee ready to go on the timer, on the automatic coffee pot. I would roll out of bed like the very last minute so I had just enough time to brush my teeth, put my clothes on, grab that cup of coffee ready to go, and get myself to the gym to make class. And sometimes I would be late, which is so silly because if you're going to be at a 5:40 a.m. class that's only 45 minutes long, why on earth would you be late? Come on, that's crazy. But the morning routine that I have right now, I actually established it a couple of years ago, and it did start because of a workout program. So the workout program that I was starting, it asked that you eat a small meal 30 minutes before your first workout. Well, because of my schedule, because of my kids, because of what I had to get ready for work and get them ready for school and all of that, I had to work out first thing in the morning. So reverse engineering or working backwards to figure out when I was going to eat this meal, which I wasn't looking forward to, I realized the only way that I could do it is to get up 45 minutes before I wanted to work out, which meant getting out of bed and not hitting that snooze button. So I had to break that habit. So I started to do it, and I had to prepare everything ahead of time, right? So I had to prepare the food that I was going to be eating so I would know and I wouldn't have to think about it at 4:45 in the morning or whatever time I got up. And then while I was eating, I was thinking, well, what am I going to do with my time? I need about 30 minutes to both eat and digest the food. So I'm not just going to sit there and quiet in the dark in my house. So that's when I started my first component of my morning routine, which is reading. And I started reading personal development books because I wanted to start to improve myself. This was the time when I was ready to go on the journey to improve myself and to really look deep as to who I am and how can I be a better version of me. So that's where it started. And the thing about the morning routine is that because I started doing this exercise program that was a 3-month program, by the time it was done, I had committed to this routine, and it had gone from something that I had to do to something that I was excited about because I felt as though I was looking forward to this every day and I was seeing the benefits, not only the physical benefits and the mental benefits from the exercise, but the positivity that I was gaining from reading first thing in the morning. And it's amazing how many books you can go through when you're reading first thing in the morning. And I only spend about 10 to 15 minutes a day on my personal development books. Sometimes I read fiction during that time as well, but it's amazing how much that adds up over time. In fact, that first book that I read, which you've probably heard me mention this before, is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, one of my very favorite books. And what he says is small, consistent actions over time equal radical results. Amen to that. So what was I doing? I was doing small, consistent actions over time. I was reading a small amount over a 3-month period. It equaled radical results in that I got into a habit. I started learning more. I wanted to read more. I wanted to digest more. And then I started thinking, well, what else might my morning routine look like? Someone suggested to me journaling. And I'm like, well, that sounds cool. But what do I journal about? I have no idea. So I picked up a journal that had a plan because I'm a girl that likes some structure. I like some planning. I didn't want to have to just, wing it and figure it out on my own. But I started this journal plan, and it was great because it already gave me an outline, a foundation for what I was supposed to do. So it told me, write down things that you're grateful for, write down your dreams and aspirations, and write down one goal that you want to work on in that day. Easy enough. So I did that on top of the reading. So this is something that I want to share with you called habit stacking. And if you've ever heard of the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, or if you haven't, I highly recommend it for anybody looking to implement good habits in your life. Don't worry, I'll mark all these books in the show notes because I have obviously become a book junkie, especially in the personal development world. So habit stacking is when you add a new habit onto an existing habit, and therefore that habit becomes a new habit. I was already in the habit of doing the personal development reading, so I thought, well, why not? I can add on a 10-minute journal practice on top of my reading. Great. The journaling has been really awesome. At first, I really liked the structure that came with this prescribed journal plan that I came up with. And then I realized I needed a little bit more of a free form for myself. That works a little bit better for me. But there were parts of it that I really enjoyed. So for example, in my journaling now every morning, I still write down my gratitude. I like to write down 5 things that I'm grateful for in that moment. I also just let myself write whatever's on my mind. Sometimes it's a to-do list. Sometimes it's about my dreams and aspirations. Sometimes it's something that I'm working through and I'm maybe frustrated about or have a lot of questions about that I need to ask myself. But letting that pen go to the paper and letting that free-form idea go in the journal is very beneficial and very therapeutic, at least for me. So journaling can look like a lot of different things. But if you can have a journaling practice, especially first thing in the morning, it's a great way to clear your mind and get your thoughts out and work through them, and possibly offer some things to work on throughout the day. So the journaling was going well. I was really enjoying that process. And then a few months later, a friend said to me, "Do you meditate?" And I thought, shit, I don't meditate. And I was really anxious about it because I felt like everybody meditates, which is such a silly thing. Like, who cares if everybody meditates? But I also was very resistant to it because I thought, I'm not going to be able to sit still and listen to some weird woo-woo music. Like, that is not for me. So I did think about what she said about the meditation. And I thought, okay, I can give this a shot. So I started very simply with an app called Calm. If you're familiar with the Calm app, there's several apps out there. There's also an app called Headspace. I think they have probably a similar process that is available through the app. But the Calm app is great because it has this thing called the Daily Calm, and it has a 10-minute meditation. I thought, great, I can easily commit to 10 minutes of meditation. I already have 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of journaling, 10 minutes of meditation, no big deal. Great. And I decided to stack that habit. I would actually start with the meditation because what I found is that, first of all, I really actually like meditating. Lo and behold, surprise to me, I actually like meditating. But I really find it to be a great way to transition from waking up early in the morning and to getting to my reading. So it allows my brain to activate and it allows me to start processing and figuring out where I want my energy to go for that day. Gives me some great thoughts, helps me calm, helps me wake up, helps me get into my body before I have to go on with all the other things. So I started the meditation and I had this 30-day free trial. So I thought, well, I might as well utilize it and take advantage of it. And guess what? 30 days in, I was hooked. I loved it. It's great. And there's so many ways to meditate. So if an app isn't for you, that's cool. If you want to just listen to some music and try to quiet your mind and do some deep breathing, that's also cool. If you want to have a mantra that you meditate on, that's also cool. There's a million ways to practice meditation, and there's no one right way. But for me, the meditation has been a really foundational part of my morning routine and just helps me start the day really grounded, really connected, really feeling confident and good about myself. In fact, a lot of times the meditation inspires my morning motivation minute. So there's a little inside scoop that you might not have known. So at this point, my morning routine looks like this. I wake up, no snoozing. I take that back. I have to be honest. I snooze once for 5 minutes. I still like that one 5-minute snooze. So I snooze once for 5 minutes. That's it. Then I wake up. I sit up in my bed. I put on the meditation. So I put on the headphones. I put on the meditation, which is about 10 minutes. When that's over, my coffee is ready for me. I love my coffee. I love to know if you love coffee too, because I am a coffee junkie through and through. I'm a fan. I drink my coffee while I do my reading, and then I spend about 10 minutes journaling. And it's a great way to get started. Now, I do all of those things before I even look at my phone, other than looking at the phone to turn on the meditation app. The reason being, and you may have heard this before, but when you look at your phone and you look at your emails and you look at your text and you look at all your messages, it takes away from the value of you. It takes away from what you want to do for you in that moment, because all of a sudden, someone else's thoughts are in your head. And if you're doing that, then you're missing the point of the time for you during the morning routine. So I do all those things first, and then I do a quick scan of the email because there's a couple of news emails that I get. I do like to read those. Also, I just want to make sure that there's no fires that have to be put out that I have to be aware of first thing in the morning. So looking at my email probably takes between 5 and 7 minutes. And then I like to go work out. Again, morning time is the best time for me. And I find that when I move my body first thing in the morning, it gets me in a great energy physically and also in a great mental energy space. So I usually do about a 30 to 45-minute workout, and then I'm ready. I'm ready to take on the day. I'm ready to take on whatever life throws at me because I am in demand just like you are. I've got 3 kids. They all need things. I've got work that I have to do. I've got all sorts of demands on my time that I love, but I have to establish the groundwork that I have to take care of myself first. And that is why my morning routine is sacred. I would like to share that my morning routine, this sacred ritual that I go through, is a Monday through Friday situation. Because I get up early, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m., and I do try to go to bed on the earlier side between 9:30 and 10 p.m. On the weekends, I like to sleep in. So I have a different morning routine on the weekends, which definitely includes sleeping in, no alarm clocks, still includes coffee, often includes reading, often includes journaling, but it's much more fluid and flexible. And for me, that really works. It really works because going back to that concept of feminine and masculine energy and structure and flexibility, yin and yang, for me, it's important to have that fluidity, that flexibility on the weekends and having that structure Monday through Friday. So why are morning routines so critical? If you talk to or listen to any very successful CEO, celebrity, famous individual, talking Oprah, you're talking Sarah Blakely, you're talking anybody that's out there that I'm blanking on all the names, Britney Spears, because we mentioned her before. Any successful person will share with you that a morning routine is one of the fundamental parts of their day that allows them to be as successful as they are. And that is not coincidence. In fact, if you Google morning routine, there's almost 500 million searches that come up on morning routines. It is extremely valuable to establish a routine that works for you in the morning. But here's the thing, like I said, a morning routine is not specific to me. It's not specific to you. You have to do what works with you and you have to play around with it a little bit. But you have to be consistent and you have to commit to yourself. And you have to be willing to say, I value and cherish my time first thing in the morning, whatever time that is. That doesn't mean that you have to get up at 5 a.m. But whatever time that it is that you're willing to set aside a certain amount of time for yourself first thing in the morning so that you can be intentional, so that you can take time to focus on what's important to you. And what's important to you might be different than what's important to me. And that's absolutely fine. But the point is allowing yourself that permission and allowing yourself that space and that energy to really just think about you. Just think about what's important to you, what makes you happy, what lights your fire, what gets you going, what makes you want to get up and do your stuff and rock every single day. And that is the beauty of the morning routine. So I want to encourage you, if you don't already have a morning routine, to think about what are the components of a morning routine that would really fire you up, that would really get your day going and make you feel so good and so connected and so alive and so purposeful in your everyday activity. I don't know what those things are, but I'm happy to talk to you about them. So if you want to shoot me a DM, a message, however you want to communicate with me, it's all good. Let me know. What are some of the things that you would like to do in your morning? Or if you already have a routine that's working for you, share with me because I'm always open to new ideas. And the last thing that I want to touch on is it's okay to change your morning routine. In fact, it's okay to change any ritual or routine. But there's a difference between making changes on a regular basis, as in it becomes frenetic and you never give anything a chance and you're not allowing yourself to be consistent in any one practice, versus trying something for a dedicated amount of time and then making a specific decision that this no longer is serving me. And so I want to make an adjustment that will really benefit me more and have more of a positive outcome in my life. that's why I've tweaked my morning routine. I realized that the reading was great, but what else could I add to it to enrich that experience, to nurture myself even more? And I'll give you an example of something that I've changed. Another component of my morning routine is practicing affirmations. And I love practicing affirmations. I love putting them in my journal. I also love using affirmation cards. And for a very long time, I was pulling affirmation cards from 3 different decks every morning. And I would look at the cards and I would read them out loud and I would write them in my journal and I would adopt them as that is my affirmation for the day. Great practice. I really love it. I still love it. But recently I got really interested in oracle cards, which are a little bit different. And I decided, hey, I'm going to try this out because it's something new. It changes it up a little bit. And I want to see how that makes me feel and how that influences my day, either in a positive or a negative way. So this is the slight change that I've been making, is that instead of pulling affirmation cards recently, I've been pulling an oracle card. And another addition that I added was, while pulling the oracle card, I put on some music that's at a different frequency to help you really connect to your energy and really focus on the vibrations that you're bringing to the world, which is really cool. That's a topic for another podcast. But this is just a small tweak that I made because I was looking for a change, looking to try something new and do something a little bit different. So it's a great idea once you have an established routine in place. If you want to make an adjustment or take something out, awesome. But don't just go changing every little thing every day, every week. If you have too much change, you're never going to know what exactly is working for you because consistency really is key to success. So morning routines, they are the bomb. It makes me so happy. It has probably been the #1 most influential thing I've done to change my life, to create a life I want, and to live in a purposeful situation, to live my life with purpose and intention and positivity and feel every single day like I'm in the driver's seat and I'm the one who gets to call the shots and decide how I want my day to go. I no longer feel stuck. I no longer feel like I'm the victim of circumstance. And having an established morning routine is one of my favorite ways to teach other people to get started on this journey. And so I hope that this information was helpful for you today. And I would love to hear from you more about your morning routine, how I can assist you, and if you have any questions about it, because sometimes it's one of those things that you're like, oh, I've heard of a morning routine, but I'm not really sure how to start it. So let's talk. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you being here. I'm so grateful for you, and I look forward to hearing from you to talk more about the morning routine. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I will talk to you soon. So what does your morning look like? Which parts of my morning routine resonate with your desires to take care of you? Or perhaps you have a completely different idea of what your sacred time looks like. Either way, I would be thrilled to hear from you and learn about your process. Thanks again for being here and tuning in for another episode of Sassy AF TV. It would mean the world to me if you would leave a comment and take a screenshot to share it with your tribe on Instagram or Facebook. Don't forget to tag me at Sassy Healthy Fit. Then make sure to head over to sassyhealthy.fit and sign up for our mailing list so you always know the latest and greatest in sassy fun. See you next time.